this whole fight with Harvard. And again, you want to talk about a dumb fight to pick. Caroline, I cannot believe Harvard thinks that it's going to win this fight. They get $9 billion, B with a billion. The Trump administration said they're going to freeze $2.2 billion because they won't commit to curbing anti-Semitism at Harvard. And I think to myself, do you guys not know how to read the room? Because there's not a lot of many people that probably were on your side to begin with. And when they hear that you get $9 billion and that Trump's freezing it because you're not curbing anti-Semitism, that's not going to go over well.
It's amazing, Sean, how many prestigious institutions don't seem to know the conditions of the government gravy train. Harvard's sending out this statement acting like they're being taken over by the federal government when, in fact, no, you receive $9 billion from the taxpayers, and those come with strings attached, such as you will not cover for terrorist sentiment on your campus, et cetera, et cetera. And if they want independence, there's another way. Hillsdale College has set out that path, which is to not receive a single dime of taxpayer dollars. And then you don't have to meet any of the demands of the federal government. You can operate entirely autonomously. But Harvard doesn't want to do that. They want to pretend like they're being demonized and that, the Trump administration hates higher education. It's like, I'm sorry, you're a propaganda machine. All you do is churn out ideologues. You don't actually advocate for real learning. Hillsdale emphasizes the Western canon and the great books and actually teaches how to be a part of civil society. Harvard is just creating little radicals, just like all the other Ivy Leagues, complete waste of time. And the fact that they had encampments laying siege to the campus for months on end proves that they're just a glorified daycare. So, I think it's a good thing that Harvard's getting a reality check, which is that, these grants are not an entitlement. They're a privilege.
Sara, I'm going to call this episode Checkmate because this is my second checkmate moment here. And then I got one more to play with you guys. But this is one we talked about the Chris Van Hollen moment, right? And the White House basically goes out and says, okay, you want to travel down there? Guess what? Here's Patty Morin, who you never called, right? Boom, checkmate. Here in this case, Harvard said, well, we'll be fine because we have a $58 billion endowment. And then the White House said, oh, okay, we'll take away your tax exempt status. And the IRS is going to start looking into that. And I went, oh, didn't see that one coming. Checkmate again. This was beautiful. I mean, the IRS is moving to strip Harvard's status. Now, they may or may not be successful. From what I understand, this thing gets massively litigated. But the bottom line, Sara, is that this just threw a whole new financial wrinkle in Harvard's thinking.
Yeah, it couldn't happen to a more deserving place, really, with Harvard. As Caroline pointed out, is they're just creating and indoctrinating little radicals. I don't know why parents continue to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to send their children there to just get radicalized instead of get an actual education. And so, you're watching this play out. It really is fascinating to me that these people, I'm like, do you know who President Trump is? Have you seen him for more than 5 seconds? Because you got to know who you're dealing with and that he's not going to back down.
Right.
You see this play out with Maine as well, where the governor is like, well, we're not taking men out of women's sports. We're just going to keep that up. And President Trump is like, okay, see you in court. You have Secretary McMahon. Okay, see you in court. These are very competent people who are not going to just let all of these states, let the Harvards of the world just dictate the terms of this taxpayer money. They've done it for too long, and now you've got a new sheriff in town. And I guess Harvard and the others have chosen, I'll be clean on this, Sean, but the FAFO method. And I'm here for it. I'm here with the popcorn like, okay, yeah. We'll see who cries wolf or who plays chicken first, because President Trump is going to win this one. And I'm here for the fight. This is a fight that has needed to happen for a very long time. These public institutions are taking way too much taxpayer money, and we're not making our kids any brighter when they come out of these schools.
By the way, if you didn't get the reference that Sara made, just Google FAFO. Make sure small kids aren't in the room. You'll get it. Brent Scher, this is the funny thing to me. Law firms have caved. They kind of got the memo. And these guys at Harvard and in academia, because there were, what's it here? A bunch of other universities jumped in and are signing a letter supporting Harvard. Columbia is saying they're backing off. And I'm like, okay, great. I agree with Caroline on this. Go the route of Hillsdale, right? Don't take the federal money. But if you take the federal money, you get it. Remember, Biden weaponized all of this. He started watering down Title IX. He started talking about DEI and wokeism on campus and defending. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And now these guys in academia, great. Sarah's right. They're not going to back down. No one is agreeing that Harvard and Yale should be getting billions of dollars and we're going to fight hard for them. Like the average working man and woman out there isn't going, yeah, I busted my hump for 2 jobs this week so that Harvard gets $9 billion and can be a cesspool of anti-Semitism.
Yeah, you're completely right. And there's literally going to be zero sympathy for Harvard losing billions of dollars. But what there is going to be is a lot of new awareness. I would guess that most taxpayers in this country don't know that all these Ivy League institutions that they've always viewed as, unattainable, are getting billions of dollars every year. I don't think that is a known fact for most Americans. But the more they make this a fight with Trump, who's the best at getting attention on an issue, probably of any person in the world, the harder this is going to be for Harvard. Because if the whole country knows that they're getting billions, I don't think it matters if they give in and are willing to accept new terms. The people are not going to stand for it. Ivy League institutions should not be getting any money from taxpayers, much less billions of dollars. So this is not going to work out for Harvard in the long run.
I mentioned I actually have 2 more checkmates. And the first one, I think, Sarah, you were the one who first name checked her. But Letitia James went after Donald Trump in an epic way. And I think it was pretty pathetic how she did it in New York. Well, guess what? What's good for the goose is good for the gander, because the Trump administration just announced that they're going after Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, because she filed. Remember, they went after Donald Trump because all of this business stuff and saying that technically he misfiled some stuff and all this, whatever. Well, guess what? Tish James, the Attorney General in New York, filed a mortgage application for a house in Virginia, claiming that Virginia was her home of record when clearly she's an elected official in New York. And I feel like, again, this is just another checkmate moment.
Yeah, I mean, they are the party of projection. I've been saying this for a very long time. The Democrats are the party of projection. Whatever they are projecting that we are doing, they're claiming that Donald Trump is a criminal because he's, applying for something and misrepresenting his financial status. Whatever they are accusing us of doing, they are quietly doing in the background. It's projection. Yeah. And so you see that playing out with Letitia James. And so I'm just going to say, it couldn't happen, again, to a more deserving group of people. We're watching this happen all the time. And there are some on the conservative side who say, well, I mean, we don't want to get in power and do the same things to them that they did to us. Well, what if they are the real criminals? What are we supposed to do? Not prosecute
why
crime?
do we have to be the ones every time to stop? I'm so tired of this.
Exactly.
Yes, you guys weaponize this, do that, do this. And then they go, but you guys shouldn't do it back. And I'm like, I'm sorry. We've done this for too long.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
All right, I want to get into my media section, and that's why I'm so excited about you guys as the panel, because we got the Daily Wire, the National Review, and the Blaze all represented. So this is fun, and this is my last checkmate of the day, although as we enter the media section. The AP, so the White House and Caroline Downey, you guys know this, Brett, you got a reporter there, Blaze has got someone, okay, so let's just set the scene. The Associated Press, when the White House redid the pool, the number of people that get to travel into the Oval Office, Air Force One, to the confined spaces, said, okay, AP, you're no longer guaranteed to be part of the pool. Well, they whined and sued and said, we have to be. We're the Associated Press. Where else are people going to get their liberal news from? Despite, as I've said in the past, the fact that no one said a peep when 440 independent journalists got their passes removed by Biden. I digress. But so here's the deal. They go to court and the AP says, we have to be let in. I know that the president's office is technically his office, but we get to go. Well, here's the thing, Caroline. Again, this is the checkmate. What did the White House do? So you used to have this pool, right? Radio gets someone in there, the photographers, the TV, and then they had wires and print. Okay. So the print is what you would assume, the Washington Post, the New York Times, whatever. And then the wires all got to come together. Reuters, AP, right? They all kind of got to go in as the wire reporters. Well, what the White House did is say, okay, checkmate. We're now folding the wires into print. That means 33 outlets now rotate. So yeah, AP, you can come in once every 33 days. And here we go. Now the AP, it's like, I love the game that they're playing. It's checkers to me, Caroline. It's not, what do we do? Do we cave? Do we do this? They said, okay, AP, great. We'll just fold this in. And now you can't claim that you're being discriminated because you'll be one of 33 now instead of one every day.
Yeah, I think what's really interesting to me is how innovative the Trump administration is with like the way it's playing this game with some of these outlets and across the board. I think it's just taken a very creative approach to policy. And, it's not afraid to escalate these fights because, I mean, honestly, that was the whole MO of this campaign, this administration, which is we will be aggressive and we're not going to back down and be complacent like maybe previous administrations have been. And when it comes to the AP, it's like, I think it was Caroline Levitt who said, you guys don't acknowledge biological reality. Like a lot of your people still use pronouns in their bios. They say that women are chest feeders or, like pregnant people. So like they're, and that was what was so funny about the whole kerfuffle over the Gulf of America thing and how the AP was refusing to recognize it as such is this is not a neutral outlet. This is a propaganda rag, a progressive outlet, wire service, okay, that's masquerading as being neutral or not taking a stand. And they've never cared about precision of language, as I just said. Like they are very quick to take the progressive language, whether it comes to gender ideology or I think they called Kamala Harris a centrist at one point. So it's just they have no credibility.
I love the fact that you bring that up. I've always said the adjectives matter, right? He's a fighter for this, right wing that. Mike Allen from the administration, from the Axios the other day was talking about Elon Musk gutting the federal government. They use adjectives to disparage conservative ideas, policies, and people and talk up the other folks. But so there was a tweet that went out yesterday after a story from the New York Times. Peter Hamby, who's had been with CNN forever, tweeted out that said Sean Spicer beaming local reporters in the press briefing was smart and good back when I was there, right? I brought in people through Skype. The press corps hated it. Caroline took it a step further by creating this new media seat. The White House, the New York Times did a big profile on it yesterday, and they analyzed everybody that was in the new media seat, including Mike Allen of Axios, left-leaning, and they call it a digital news site. Matt Boyle from Breitbart, a right-winger. John Ashbrook from the Ruthless podcast, he was on the show just a little while ago, he's right-wing. Sage Steele from ESPN, she's right-wing. Chris Pavulski from Rumble, right-wing. And then they start to go to like Shelby Talcott of Semaphore, Ben Smith, who was with the New York Times, whenever left-leaning, they call it a digital news site. And they keep going down the list of everybody who is, quote, mainstream. And then everyone who leans right is called out, including Mary Margaret Olohan. It says the Daily Wire, right wing. Like they despise, wouldn't a press, to me, the thing that's amazing is if I actually cared about the First Amendment and freedom of the press, I'd want more voices in there. But they're so disparaging about anybody that's not part of the left-wing legacy media. If you're not part of the pack mentality to make sure that everybody only sees, reads, and hears left-wing propaganda, then you're evil and bad. And this was their little attempt at it.
Well, I can answer it because I was a member of the New Media Podcast Row that the White House did several weeks ago. I went to the White House and I interviewed Secretary Kennedy and Secretary McMahon. And so it was just what I saw when I walked into the White House was a very young, very vibrant staff. You had all of these young people who were unlike the previous administration, who were very competent, who were very knowledgeable, who were everyone was zipping around. It was a really beautiful sight to see. And so what I saw was a masterclass in just embracing what needed to be embraced. For so long, you have all of these news outlets who are pretending to be impartial, non-biased, but everybody knows that that's not the case. And you have a White House who's saying, okay, we're not going to pretend anymore. We really don't care. We don't care what they call us. We don't care the names, the insults that they hurl our way. We're just going to do what we are here to do. And so they're bringing in the new media. I got to go in there. I'm just a girl from Texas.
Oh, so come on. You're not just a girl from Texas.
I mean, for me, I'm a mom from Texas. Just, I couldn't believe that I was in the White House interviewing cabinet secretaries. And I have the Trump administration to thank for that, because they're saying, we don't care. We don't care anymore. We're
You got
going to
an
bring in who we
audience.
want to
That's
bring
what
in.
matters.
Well, right, exactly. But I mean, they're saying you guys were doing it all along, and we all know you just were pretending like you weren't. And we're just going to embrace it at this point. I just love to see it.
All right, I'm sorry Brett's dropped off because this is my favorite part. I do winners and losers every Thursday, as you guys know. Caroline, I want to start with you. Who do you think won the week and who lost the week?
I think the person who won the week was Mrs. Marin, who obviously gave that very beautiful tribute to her child and really schooled the legacy media masquerading as representative of the public, which is actually Democratic media, basically state-run media, and just put them all in their place, had them silent, speechless, because it really takes an emotional testimony like that to put it all in perspective. Well, you guys are busy in your kind of online echo chambers trying to glorify a man as like some sort of like family guy, when like there are real victims of the illegal.
Who won, in your opinion? Who is the winner? I mean, the loser. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. The loser. I think the loser is the senator from Maryland. I think it was ultimate buffoonery, and I think it's
bad staffing. By the way, bad staffing.
Yeah. Yes. Very bad staffing.
All right, Sara Gonzales, who's your winner and loser?
Yeah, my winner is Kilmar Abrego Garcia, because he gets to actually be home. He's home now on his home turf, and I'm really, really happy for him that he is now home. My loser is anyone who is still, again, paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to send their children to an indoctrination camp called Harvard.
I agree. All right. I actually was going to name AOC. I mean, all these people with pronouns still in their bios losers, because Caroline won't call on them. And I think that's awesome. She's like, if you have pronouns in your bio, I'm not calling on you. But my big loser of the week is Joe Biden. The guy jumped back on stage this week, and it was an absolute disaster and a reminder why he should have not run for re-election. But he was definitely the loser of the week. And my winner of the week is hands down. As you can tell, I called it the checkmate over and over again, whether it was Abrego Garcia and how they brought her that mom, angel mom, out, or whether it was how they handled the AP. It was like checkmate, checkmate, checkmate. Really well thought of, really well strategized this week. So my hat off to the Trump administration. Thank you guys for being with us. Brett I don't think he was ready for winners and losers, and he's probably back there. So I appreciate this. I hope you both have a happy Easter. As a reminder, guys, tomorrow Andrew Klavan's going to join us for the whole hour. A lot to break down. He's got a brand new book, perfect for Good Friday as well. Remember to sign up in advance of tomorrow for the newsletter, SeanSpicer.com. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.